Greetings and welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. I have a card reading for you today, and I want to talk a little bit about something else first. I've been many times asked, what is a real teacher? I just found a little image yesterday that is just absolutely hilarious, and I think it's just perfect for this explanation. You can see here the difference, like it came with like to God and to church, and I have added here to true spirituality is going through the dark night of the soul, the awakening, the real awakening, walking alone. You cannot go through this transformation. Of course, there might be people around you, but you have to go through it by yourself. You will be confronted with all the emotions that you go through into this step. And this is the way to completely take back your power. So what we have here on the church line, where actually most people still are, is like also the new age. It's important to have gadgets. You need this crystal, you need that, you need these cards. And I'm not saying cards are bad. I use them too, but I use them and they talk to me. I don't have any cards like there is written exactly what it is. So this is always a little bit tricky. So this is about worship and guru. So you have somebody outside of you whom you trust to tell you what you have to do. And again, this is not generally something bad, but it is like when you rely on it and you just do what this other person tells you, you will never even touch your real power. It is generally seeking for answers outside of you, or follow the many. Also, like my friend said this, so I have to go too, all these things and all these things. You can see also, and I've been a long time in the New Age community again and again. I was in a way part of it when I did all my readings and my traveling in this time. But for me, it was more or less, I was here 2 weeks, there 3 weeks or whatever, and then I left. So this was more easy for me because I was never constantly in the same place. And that also challenged me to really be by myself. And because I was away so much, I didn't have many friends anymore because they don't want somebody you cannot rely on and call whenever you want, and the person is here. So what we have here is a very typical divide of people, what is happening now. And this is also the divide between the timelines that are happening. So to answer the question from the beginning, what it means to have a teacher that is really on a true spiritual path, remember that this teacher will never tell you what to do. He or she might make some suggestion, teaching something, but not like you have to follow it or you have to do it or that's the only way. A teacher also never, and be careful, this is one of the most important things, never is fear mongering. Oh, if you don't do this, this is going to happen, and all that kind of stuff. A teacher should be uplifting. He can point out or she can point out difficulties or dangers, whatever, but not in a way, if you don't do that, this is going to happen, or if you don't follow this teaching or do this meditation or do this whatever, you go to hell, more or less. So this is something which is very important to know. Please be careful, because also the cards that I will share right now with you are relating very much to this topic. So you can see here, we have first again the Chameleon, a card that we had many times. And in a way, this is so typical in the moment, like people who are still like going here, going there, a little bit here, a little bit there, making a little bit serious effort, and then, oh, okay, just go with the flow again. And you cannot change colors anymore once you are within this transformation. It is like yes, go with the flow, but not like you cannot change color anymore. It's also once you have certain truths, you cannot unsee them anymore. And this is what kind of message that was in the last days is like that a lot of people who are really pursuing the spiritual path are silently removing themselves from society, from social activities. And that is another part that is very true in the moment. And if you belong to them, please don't feel guilty about it. Step back, because now you prepare for your new timeline. And when we look at the second card, you know, here in Asia, and I know also in other countries, in front of the temple, there is a guardian. And this guardian very often has a very fierce expression. And this is because the guardian does not let into the temple anybody who is not worthy. And this is in a way, as long as you are in the chameleon energy that you going forth and back and up and down, should I not, you will not be able or allowed to go into the temple. This is like here we see in the last, it's also a Kali energy here that we have the depiction of the fire. So that is the burning away of we can say the false matrix, the beliefs that you have, all that does not belong into the here and now. And this is the step that we are confronted now in the moment. It's a confrontation with who we truly are. Do we have the energy or the courage to really step into this fire of transformation? Do we really have the courage to let go? Then it needs courage, believe me. It does need a lot of courage, because we have been raised, and the older you are, we can say, the more difficult it is, because the more you have been in this matrix and in this program. This might not be true anymore for a few young ones, but when I look at the school system today, university, etc., the brainwash is even 10 times worse than it was when I was young. But there are many souls that are born now that have already a light that was not possible when we incarnated at that time. I mean, I was mid last century, and those who come closer, and especially those after 2000, those after 2012, they have a different frequency. And this is not because they are kind of more or less or better or whatever than you are. Job, they have a different task to fulfill here. So we have to be very clear now and choose. If we want to go the spiritual path, we cannot anymore participate in the social stuff outside, in the game that is going on. And it's also about politics and everything. You know, politics will never change the world. Never. You change the world, your world within yourself, and you change yourself. And what I have experienced for many years too, I was always kind of like between, in the gray zone between realities. With my traveling, I was never completely stable somewhere. I had a base, a home base, but then I was in and out and in and out. And that kind of forced me to stand on my own feet and not be able to just rely on the society, because I was not able to join a club or whatever, because I was half the time I was gone and was not able to be part of it. Even my choir that I really loved, I had to, more or less, I was kicked out because I was missing too many sessions. So this is the life that you have to decide now. And this is now just a transition period. That does not mean the rest of the life will be like that. Once you are out of that tunnel and through through that purification, through the fire, through all what has happened within, to burn away all these negative patterns, you come to the stage of the wave of bliss. I have actually just made recently an epoxy with a wave of bliss that I show you at the end quickly, because it is really what is happening now. This bliss, this flow, and this part up here is like a hand holding you over the wave. It's like a spirit. It's not a real wave anymore. It's like a spirit energy that is over the real wave. That kind of protection. So whatever in the world is happening, however high the waves go, you will be like this little boat here that you can see in the card. You will be protected by a higher force, and you will have a sanctuary that wherever you are protected. And I think that's the real beauty about it. Once you reconnect with your true self, with the spirit self, with the divine self, then you find that fall back. I just had a fallback recently, a really bad one, because some old childhood wounds and wounds from life, they just ripped open. So it is a time here when you burn away all that, that you look at what is still there. And this is not a process that is step by step, layer by layer, you know, like peeling the onion, one layer after the other. And when one layer is done, the next layer might be even more intense because it is deeper, it is even further back. And in addition, you know, that we all work on our ancestor karma, that we work on our past lives, that it's not just me or you that have this pain. And I think this is something really, really important to understand, and that helped me a lot. That certain things that came up, I knew it's not just me, but it's much more. It is also like, I know some past lives. I have done past life regression in the 80s, many years ago, for 10 years. So I have a lot of experience, and I know that something that are coming up are definitely not in my lifetime, have nothing to do with my lifetime, and things are coming up sometimes in symbolic karma. Let me give you a sample, which is it's a bit extreme, but that it shows it very clearly. For example, if you have been a general in a past life, and you have been responsible for killing 1 million people or whatever, you don't have to be killed 1 million times to clear that karma. First of all, you have not been that ancestor. That ancestor still exists, or that past life, whatever, is still somewhere. But this is a symbolic way to start to understand the value of life. And once you go through certain experiences, and it might be even a near-death experience or something like that, you will value life in a complete different way, and you will not be able to terminate life anymore in the way like you did in a past life or whatever. And this is, again, we don't judge here. We all have been part of that false matrix. And believe me, every one of us has killed at one point or been a soldier or whatever. But I just have to give you the sample that you comprehend what is really happening in the moment, because sometimes things are coming up, emotions are coming up, and especially now, you might remember if you heard my moon reading that I said now we are at the point to feel and not to think only, but to feel what is around us. And these feelings are much more intense than when it's the mind. The mind can trigger something, but the feelings, the real feelings, they go deep. And that is where the hurt is. But this is where we need redemption and healing. And in case you ask if you still need healing, first of all, yes, you're here. And if you still have all kind of challenges outside, it's definitely a yes. And we are still here. So we are still participating in any activities that is around us. And again, don't look further. You don't need to look what happened in other countries, in other places. You are there where you are supposed to be for a reason. Now let me show you my wave of bliss. This is coming up a bit. See, you see that this is the wave, the part on top of it. You can see the layers, but not so well. This is like my light over there that comes out. So I plan to put that up soon to show in a way that this is the protection. It feels like a total protection. It's ease. It's like things become simple and things go into that natural flow, not the flow with the masses, but the natural flow of our personal energy. So next reading, I will have a moon reading for you again. That's it for today. And if you have questions, please ask me and please comment if you have something to say. I'm very happy if I get some comments and some likes. Thank you very much. Bye-bye for now.